Welcome to Vision Labs, where I, your tour guide, VB, will take you on a wondrous journey through our wonderful Vanguard testing facility. Here we will show you things you've only dreamed of. Premium loops, VPremium tempo decks, wait, they're all tempo. And finally, our cutting-edge D-standard meta predictions. Stick around for these series of videos, and I hope to take you through a wondrous journey. Welcome to Slash Draw DI, a perfect abomination created by the unholy full damage denial playstyle of the current premium format. This deck focuses on the grade 4 Gasteel's ability to copy grade 3s to create the most deadly, unguardable single attack in the game. Let's jump into the card by card, starting with the big man himself. Evil God Pontiff Gasteel Daimonis. This card is able to copy 2 grade 3s from the deck with CB1 flip a card, and it uses the 2 grade 3s that we mainly use in the deck, Brufus and Gasteel, to combo off to create a large attack that ends the game. The large part comes in the form of his auto ability. When a card is put into your soul, all the front row units gain +3 power until the end of the turn. This deck abuses that concept to soul charge as many cards as you can in a turn, sometimes up to 23 to 25 cards in a turn, to push your front row well past 75 to 80k power. Most of the rest of the G zone itself is fairly inconsequential. Here you have the Abrader Mouse. Sometimes when your opponent heals out, and then you survive their next turn, you're going to need something to go into to refresh that deck a little bit. This man here does it all for you. Going to be able to send your triggers from Soul and Regard back to deck and then restand, giving you an extra few turns. You will almost never stride into this guy. It's basically just for long damage denial games, and you have an extra copy of your Vanguard. Basically get free stride for the rest of the game. Specifically Balam, it's also for longer games. Generally won't go into this unless you need to specifically retire something and you know you can't get to 20 with Gasteel in one turn. So you have this just to CB1, pop a card, then swing out another rear guard, depending what you do. For games where you have 0 damage, you have Kill Lilla. This is basically an on-hit Soul Charge 2 and draw a card. Basically, if you're playing against Nue and they have a Huang on field, they give you 0 damage until then. You stride this, you attack because you have to, and then draw a card, hopefully survive the next turn. Your G guards, you're gonna have 2 Vincents. Basically, this is the GB1 G guard. When it's placed, you flip 1, you soul charge 1, then for every 5 cards in your soul, it gets +5k shield. You have the Lucktorn G guard, basically the drop and draw G guard. You have your standard +10k G guard in Nasu here. If the number of cards in your soul is 8 or more, you gain +10. The second effect doesn't really matter. Sabnak, you don't really go into this ever. It's just extra space. And then you have Mahalat. Basically, if your opponent strides first and you're just trying to get to extra soul, this is what you're going to go for first because you can soul charge too. And then the most pretty flip fodder in the game. I believe that covers the G zone. Let's move on to the main deck. Here we have the first grade 3. Demonic Deep Phantasm Emperor Brufus. We're going to be playing 3 of these. Skill. Act Vanguard once per turn. Counterblast 1. Look at all the cards in your deck. Search for up to 3 cards with the same card name. Reveal them. And if your soul has a card with the same name as those cards, put a card from among the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest in your soul. Shuffle your deck. So basically, you're going to CB1. You're going to choose a card from your soul. You're going to search your deck for up to 3 copies of that same card. You're going to put 1 of them in your hand. You're going to put the rest to soul. But you're going to be using this card for either Creeper. You can use it for Emblem Master. You can use it for Killer Tail, or you can use it for Hustler, the new spicy card in the deck. If you don't need it to get to 20 cards, you can just use this to thin your deck a little bit. Move on to the next grade 3. Evil God Bishop Gasteel, also playing this at 3. Skill. Auto Vanguard Circle. At the beginning of your battle phase, cost Counterblast 1, draw a card, and your opponent chooses one of the following effects. For every 5 cards in your soul, you perform the chosen effect in any order. First, all of the front row gets critical +1 till the end of the turn. Your opponent's Vanguard gets power increases or decreases to 1 until the end of the turn. That's 1, not 1,000, but it's the same number, so it doesn't really matter. All of your opponent's auto abilities do not activate until the end of the turn. This does include auto abilities on the field already. It does not only block Guardian abilities. And then your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand and puts it into his or her damage face down. So the main combo here would be to stride the grade 4 Gust Steel, copy both of these effects, use the Brufus effect as well as any other effects you have to get to 20 cards in soul as fast as possible, beefing your front row up by at least 60k power. And then during the battle phase, you activate the Gust Steel ability. All 4 effects will activate. Your opponent will put a card from hand to damage. Opponent will go down to 1. You'll get a plus crit to your entire front row. And then all auto abilities will block. And then you will swing with your 2 crit rear guards. And then using Brufus's second ability, which I didn't go over, when it attacks, if your soul has 2 or more grade 3 cards, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this card gets the power and critical of that unit until the end of the battle. It says your opponent's. So if you decide to choose your rear guard, you will get at base like plus 60 to 70k power, and then an extra 2 critical. So your opponent will also get that critical as well. So your opponent's going to be double dipping on the grade 4 Gust Steel power ability, basically doubling up its power, as well as getting an extra 2 critical, which means this generally is swinging for 150 to 180 plus with 4 damage, and your opponent can't use use auto abilities. So no PGs, no big G guards, no Magatsu PG block, no Gurgit top 5 check, nothing. They're not allowed to do anything. Now to the final grade 3, we're going to move on to 9 Break Hustler. 4 of. This is a copy that that was thrown in my face by a friend of mine. Basically, auto generation big 1. When this unit is placed on rear guard, choose up to 2 of your units, including itself. Search your deck for up to 3 cards with the same card name as each of those units. Put them into the soul. Shuffle your deck until the end of the turn. This unit gains +1 for each card put in your soul this way. So, this is Emblem Master, but for free twice. This card you're going to be using in combination with Variant's Killer Tail, combination with Dimension Creeper, with itself, PGs that you want to get out of the deck, literally anything. Bobo, Yellow Bolt. Basically, you're calling this, and you're going to get a plus like 4 to 5 to your soul from just calling this card. There actually is a small combo I want to go against. So let's say you have Dimension Creeper on the field, Killer Tail on the field, and 9 Break Hustler in hand, and then you've stricken Gust Steel, you've copied the Brufus and the Gust Steel ability. You call this card, you choose itself, and then one of either Killer Tail or Creeper. You're going to soul charge 2 of itself, only 2, leaving 1 in deck, and then the rest of the Killer Tail or Creeper. Then you will be able to use the Brufus ability to counterblast 1, choose 9 Break Hustler, and get the last copy of it from deck to hand, and then use it on the other card that you have, and then anything else. So you can just call it a draw PG. This means with 2 cards on field, and then 1 9 Break Hustler, you're going to be getting, let's see, 3, 5, 8, 11, like at least 11 cards in soul off of 1 9 Break Hustler. And then if you use Dimension Creeper, then you're soul charging an extra 6. This card's insane. I didn't know it existed, and I'll show you a replay that shows this ability. Now moving on to the grade 2s, we're gonna have Bobo. This is the damage denial format. If someone directly damage denies you, and then you open 1 or 2 Bobo, you win the game. Skill, Generation Break 1. When this unit is placed on rear guard from your hand, if the number of cards in your damage zone is 3 or less, counter charge 1, soul charge 1, choose one of your vanguards, deal 1 damage. This is insane. Obviously, you can use one of itself, deal yourself a damage, get yourself some soul, use a skill like Gust Steel, call another one, counter charge that damage, and then deal yourself another damage. So, next grade 2 is going to be Emblem Master. First skill doesn't normally matter, and second skill, when placed, counterblast 1, search your deck for and drop zone. for up to 3 cards in total with the same name as a name of one of your units, and then put them in your soul. If searched, shuffle your deck. So this is a very important skill for specifically Dimension Creeper. If you have the Dimension Creeper on field, and then you have 3 in soul, soul blast all 3 out, soul charge 6, then you call an Emblem Master, counterblast 1, and put those creepers directly back in soul, and then do the exact same thing. So you're getting a soul charge 12, basically, off of 1 creeper on field and then 1 Emblem Master. You can also use Emblem Master in combination with Variant Killer Tail, just like most people know in Standard. Get the Killer Tails in soul, activate the ability. Now the final grade 2 we play is Phantasma Executioner. This card is played specifically for the New Dio matchup. This card was released in the Clan Selection 1 as a promo. Its skill reads, act rearguard cost, retire this unit, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it, and soul charge 2. Basically, call this, retire Huang, continue to damage an eye, while also getting a soul charge 2. It's good. It's insane for the matchup. You'll see how much advantage you get based off this, as well as it's also just a soul charge 2. And because this is an English list, moving into the grade 1s, we are playing Yellow Bolt instead of a card called Werewolf Catcher. Werewolf Catcher is a promo that we unfortunately do not have a release date in English yet. It is another version of Dimension Creeper. If and when that card ever releases, we would take out 3 Yellow Bolts and 1 Phantasma Executioner and put 4 Catcher in, because it's insane and it's much easier to get to 20 that way. But because we don't have that, we have Yellow Bolt. It basically helps the new Dial matchup as well as any other damage Dial matchup. Active Vanguard Rearguard, rest this card. If you have a Dark Irregular Vanguard, soul charge 1. If you're going second against New Dio, they ride grade 1, call Huang, ride this, rest it. It gives you a turn to get to your Phantasma Executioner. Next grade 1s is Variant Killer Tail. Rest this unit. Put a card from your damage zone or drop zone into your soul. If you put from your damage zone, put the top card of your deck into your damage zone face down. And then if your soul has 3 Variant Killer Tails, countercharge 1 and stand this unit. So this is a very toolboxy card. Basically, it helps set up your Brufus plays. If you don't have any like 9-Break Hustler in hand or in soul, you can use a Variant Killer Tail to get a Hustler into soul. You can, if you use a Creeper, you can use Killer Tail to put a Creeper back in soul. That's pretty much it. And early game, Variant Killer Tail is a usual target for Emblem Master. You can also just ride ride Killer Tail, and when you stride it into Gasteel and copy Brufus, you can just use the Brufus ability to immediately turn this card on. Very good card, very good toolbox, as well as a countercharge machine, because this deck can, if this deck has the amount of countercharge it has, you can pop off on 0 to 1 counterblast. Next grade 1 is Dimension Creeper. This card's insane. It's broken. There's not much to say about this. Axe Soul. Put this card into your drop zone if you have a Dark Irregular's Vanguard. Soul charge 2. It's nuts. It's repeatable, abusable with Emblem Master, as well as Killer Tail. You can get it into soul easily with Brufus or 9-Break Hustler. It's just nuts. I can't express how nuts this is. Moving into the triggers, 4 heals. You want a G-Guard. G-Guard to get you soul charge. 4 stride crit. You don't want to be... You have very little grade 3s. You don't want to see all of them. So you want to be striding with this for the most of the time. 4 PGs. You want to survive. There are decks like New Dio that get big rearguards. And PGs just help with surviving, especially if you damage or drive check them. And then moving on to the Broken Stand portion of a premium deck is 4 Monochrome of Nightmare Land. Skill, GB1. Put this unit on top of your deck. Shuffle your deck, soul charge 1. Then if you number your soul of cards in your soul is 6 or more, choose a card from your damage zone, turn it face up. Then if it's 10 or more, you draw a card. You're cycling this into your deck. You're countercharging to extend your plays, and then you're getting an extra soul charge out of it. Pretty nuts. You're generally using this to extend general plays, trying to get cards in the soul to search out for Brufus, getting an extra counter charge for an Emblem Master into a Creeper play. Pretty simple stuff. And then the starter is the best starter, Devil in Shadow. that's the deck list, you guys. We're going to be checking in about 3 replays in just a second, 1 full game, and then 2 instances in a game where I want to show you Hustler as well as Phantasma Executioner. Back into the replays. This is the first version of the deck. I didn't go over that in the deck. There were a few differences in this deck, one being Psionic, the 2 being Hustler's not in this deck, as well as the Phantasma Executioner. Those are all not in this deck. But this is still going to show a general idea of the playstyle as well as the combo on this drive turn. We'll try to get into this as fast as possible. So you see here, Luard going first. Seems like they are running the Superior Ride engine. I do think Malik here takes back he does take back that play. He did already have the Blaster Dark in hand, so he goes for the Bende instead of the Blaster Dark Searcher. I probably would have gone for just another domain. Here, Cross is going to ride Yellow Bolt, Soul Charge, pass. No reason to swing and give any damage. And here we go with the Superior Ride engine. This is basically going to turn off any sort of grade 2 game. It's going to give Malik the first stride, as well as give Cross no resistance when trying to stride. Here Cross is going in to give some damage. Go for a 1 pass. I actually don't think that was legal. I think it's only 1 drive, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter right now. So now he's using Psionic Abductor to CB1 discard 1 and get some creepers into Soul. You see all 3 in Soul here. I assume he's going to swing into rear guard mostly. Yep, swinging into rear guard. Passing turn again, putting them onto 0 damage, letting them. Oh, looks like they're not going to stride. Malik calling a front row. Looks like he will be trying to get some more damage in, which if you're playing against this deck, just pray they don't have the Bobo. So Cross is probably going to be taking basically everything here. Here we go, going into Brufus, going into the Gastille. Going to call a Brufus and a grade 3 Gastille so we can not miss out on some power. Now he's going to use Gastille's ability to get the 2 grade 3s. Make sure to flip up your G-Zone for cost. And you'll see numbers going down there. It's basically Cross keeping track of the amount of soul he's used. See, he's going into the creepers first to check out his soul. This is also when we were still using Shaharp. Did use the Brufus to get that Emblem Master. Now he's using Cat to get a counter charge. Can use the Emblem Master to put these creepers back to Soul. Soul charge another 6. Usually he did just do another creeper. So I believe this equates to 22k power, which means the front is going to be getting 66k power and 2 crit. Let's see here. There is 1 cat in there. I believe he is running 4 stands, so you can go both rear guards here and then Vanguard, but I do believe he goes 1 rear guard first and then uses skill. See, blame Franz for this. Yes, blame me. This is all my doing. So 1 card's going to be going to damage here. Vanguard's going to be going down to 1. 2 crit to the front row, as well as autos are being blocked. And at this point, most opponents will either scoop or flip the table because this is a very unfair interaction. Vanguard's already swinging for 100 and 2 crit. Will be swinging for over 100 and 4 damage once Brufus' skill is used. See, Cross is explaining the skills to Malik here. Malik not understanding, and the realization slowly creeping up on him that this game is over. So yes, he is at 1. Card will be going from hand to damage. At this point, the only choice for Cross is what the attack order is going to be. If he's worried about hitting stands, then he can swing both rear guards first and then use Brufus. But here he's just swinging the 78k rear guard. He's going to retire it, gives Vanguard 78 and 2 more crit. Malik's going to try to drop a plot maker. get plus 10k, but he is about 160k short, and he just cannot guard. He will have to take this 4 damage to the dome. And he's also playing crit sentinels in this deck, so here comes 5 damage to the face. And that is the first replay. We're back now, and this is Nue versus DI again. This is going to really showcase the 9-break Hustler ability, especially in a game like this where it's going to be a little bit scuffed and it's going to go to the mid game without much damage here. I do open the Executioner in there. I do need a grade 2 though, so I can guarantee that Huang is gone. I'm gonna ride the Yellow Bolt. I do believe I just swing under here because I do want more cards. I want to search for that grade 2. If I did have a grade 2, I probably would have just used the Soul Charge ability. They're just gonna pass. I still don't have that grade 2, so I believe I just do the same thing here, looking for that grade 2. Is giving them more time to get Huang, but it's also giving me more time to get the grade 2. I do eventually just ride the Executioner and pass since they don't have the Huang. They ride the grade 2 3k. They're gonna swing under. At this point, I'm just gonna ride up, do nothing and pass. I do believe that this turn they are gonna see a Huang. I believe they do, yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna pass, do nothing here. They're gonna ride up. They're gonna get the Huang off the top. They're gonna just ride into Cyclone. Didn't call the Huang though. At this point, it's not really gonna make that much of a difference. I would have given them 1 CB. They would have Bobo, but I have it in Norman's hand. I have at least 2 PGs. I probably would have survived. So here, I believe I'm going to Stripe. So at first, I do a no, that's different game. So here, what you see is I'm gonna call the Killer Tail and the Creeper, as well as the Hustler. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose, I believe, the Creepers, and then 2 of the Hustler to put into Soul for. Actually, no, sorry, that's a different way. Here I'm going to put in just 3 Killer Tail, 3 Creeper, set up for my Gas Steel turn. Don't really need to do anything pretty. I can put in Hustler from the drop zone with Creeper later. I don't have the CB. I don't have the Bobos. If I had like 2 Bobos here, I could have straight into Gas Steel, used the 1 Bobo, got into CB, copied the grade 3s, called the Hustler, copied those skills, copied 1 of these plus 2 Hustler. I could have used Brufus. I could have gotten the other Hustler hand. I could have dropped like the PG to field. I could have and then I could have Hustlered the other of the 2 Killer Tail or Creeper, as well as the PGs to get the draws out of deck, and eventually just go from there. So at this point, I have a really good setup. You're gonna see here, I'm also gonna use the Cat at this time just to cycle it back to get a rear guard in the back row, so you can't swing at my rear guard. I also get an Emblem Master for Creeper plays later. So at this point, I know as long as I have a few CB, and because I Killer Tail, I can countercharge 1. I'm basically golden. So they have a Bobo, and they're gonna try to go in for the Nue play here. They're gonna try to kill me. They believe they have enough because my hand size is a little small, but I have 4 PGs, and I'm at 0 damage. So probably better for him at this point to continue to pass until, I don't know, he sees 2 Bobo, so he can go into the Hockey Vogue. But at this point, he knows if I draw a Bobo or 2, he doesn't know how many I'm going to need to kill him. I would probably need 2, but he doesn't know that, so he's just going to try to go in right now and kill me instead of wait. Does use the Miyomaru to power up. I do take a damage. I do get a damage trigger, makes it even easier. Can't hit with the 18k, so he's going to swing again. I'm just going to G-guard. I don't need the soul at this point, so I'm just gonna use the plus 10k to take it, plus 10k G-guard to get that out of here. I can't block Nue. No one can block Nue, so I no guard it, and then he's gonna restand all of his cards here. He was having a little bit of issues with controls in the voice chat, I do remember. So like I said, I'm just gonna no guard. He's gonna crit me. It's fine. I'm still at 3. Get a Hustler that I can put in with Killer Tail to get it back with Brufus. At this point, all I have to do is guard the 2 crit attack, and I'm fine. but I do PG both of them, so just in case things go wrong. And I'm going to go into Gastille. I'm going to move those up so those do get power. You're going to see me count the power here in just a bit. I'm going to put the Hustler in. I'm going to use the Brewfist to get those Hustlers back. It is unfortunate that I do damage check the Hustler, though. It's funny. So I do get the Hustlers. I'm going to call the draw trigger as well as the Hustler just to get that the last draw PG deck. I believe I'm out of Hustlers at this point. So it's just to get that last draw to deck. But it really doesn't matter for soul-wise. I have 2 Emblem Masters with the Creepers and Soul. So I can theoretically soul charge 18 cards at this point. I can end the game if I want to. So I believe here I'm going to use the Creepers. I'm going to use the Creepers again. And then I'm going to put the 3 Creepers back. And then I'm not going to do it because I believe I'm going to be sitting at... I don't know how many cards I left. So at this point, I'm just calculating what exactly I need. I'm at 17. The three Creepers get me there. Get me to 20 already. Just going to soul charge 6. I'm going to call over the PG here, I believe. Get those Creepers back. Which also counts for Gastille, which is hilarious. Then soul charge 6 again. At this point, I'm at 6, so I can just call the Emblem Master again, put myself up to there. So at this point, some people may say you can do one more because you only have 3 drive checks, but Gastille does draw a card on the battle phase. So if I did use another Creeper, I would be at 4. I would have drawn a card, then I would have died at 3 cards left to deck. So as you can see, I believe this is like 27 cards in Soul. I did Soul charge 23, 23, and 18. So that's just the consistency and the power of 9-Break Hustler. As where you saw in the first replay, they just barely hit 20, and it was without this card. This card is free. It's just insane. So you can see here, you can see the power there. I'll watch you. I'll let you watch the numbers go all the way up just for fun. I accidentally added a 0 onto this. But it's okay. So I did put these numbers up, and at this point I believe I'm at all my stands are out, so I'm just gonna swing Rearguard, Vanguard, then Rearguard again. I believe I hit over. Oh, I think I almost hit 200 here. That's super unfortunate. So he is going to guard the first one. Not many people are able to actually even guard one of these attacks, being 80 plus. But at this point, I'm still threatening 6 damage. Go close. I believe this is like 100 and like. I'm going in for it. I think I still think that I have a stand trigger left. It's fine. I retired 2 for no reason. It doesn't really matter. There's 6 damage going in, so you can see the ceiling of the deck, especially with 9-Break Hustler, like the consistency, the ceiling of power, the ease of use, it just gets that much better as soon as we added this card in. And that's all for the replays. I'll see you back here in just a second for the final thoughts on the deck. As you can see from the replays, the deck has insane 0 to 6 potential, as well as seemingly the biggest attack in the format, crit and power wise. This deck is good, very good. It's consistent, a powerhouse, and completely demolishes anyone who gives even 1 single damage. If you stride and get 20 soul, you will win near 100% of the games. However, let's get to the cons. The cons are, you have to get to stride. Unfortunately, there are decks such as Fenrir, 16-stand Blade Master, 16-stand Valkyrion, and sometimes Pale Moon Loop, as well as Nue sometimes, that can just kill you beforehand. There isn't much you can do about this. We configure the deck as much as we can to try to keep Nue from killing you, but unfortunately, Fenrir and the 16-stand decks, as well as Pale Moon, do not have that same kind of counterplay. Fenrir and Pale Moon can just get out their Zazen randomly sometimes and immediately kill you. and the 16 stand Blade Master and Valkyrion decks, they can go off without any sort of counterblast, and they can just kill you with the amount of attacks and stands it can do. Do I think this is a tier 1 deck? Yes. Do I think this is the best deck in the format? No. But it definitely does feel like the most skill intensive out of those tier 1 decks. I found it very fun to build, play, and overall just be involved with. Special thanks to Cross and Sins for being a very, very great testing partner and testing dummy with this deck. And a very, very huge thanks to Ridra in the Discords for giving me the idea of this deck and helping me refine the deck to the nth degree to get this unholy abomination. Thank you very much for watching the very first episode of Vision Labs. I hope you enjoyed this series, and hopefully you'll come back for more. We plan on doing standard testing, V and D standard testing both, as well as some other little skits and other ideas. Like, comment below, subscribe, hit that bell. Thanks for watching. VB Franz, signing out.